the AI goat in the room today. And Richard and I worked in a company together. And of course, there were some good synergies insofar as the conversation was concerned. But I think for me, what stood out the most, even upon meeting him, was just the level of not just grit, but the level of putting your money where your mouth is. And he will share a bit about his accolades and what he's achieved over the short period that we've known each other, at least. And I know that he's got some accolades behind that. But what we're going to be focusing the conversation on today is around how can you make AI work for you? And how can you ensure that you leverage AI in and amongst the noise and in and amongst the difficulty to ensure that it serves you and you're able to use it to your benefit. So, Richard, I'm not going to do these extensive bios because we'll be here for the rest of the evening, but I'm going to welcome you to the podcast, brother, and thank you for making the time.
No, thanks for having me. Honestly, that was a warm welcome. I feel like I can jump over the moon. I'm gonna put on my CV. I got introduced by the Bani. Yeah, but thanks a lot for that. Yeah,
appreciate it, brother. So I think as a point of departure for me, I always, whenever I'm speaking with individuals that are AI interested or that absolutely love AI, my primary question is always, how did you get yourself to a point where you're able to show interest and also just dive in? Whereas the natural inclination, I would imagine, would be to hands off, let me wait for it to settle, let me wait for the dust to settle. I don't know anything about this. So what was it about your journey or even your mindset that said to you, look, let's just go ahead first and let's explore this thing?
Good question. It was out of necessity, to be honest. I feel like most AI coach, it's because of out of necessity. You realize that there are individuals with 20, 10 years experience doing the same robotic task over and over. That is their edge, and you need a tool like AI to combat that or to compete in the market. Remember, each of us, we are in a marketplace, whether we have a business or not. We are basically a business. What's that saying from 50 Cent? It's not, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
And that is exactly my mindset, or what my mindset has always been. I am still a young gun, and I'm entering the lion's den, essentially. And I need to be a David, adopting the new technologies, because if it is new, it means that there aren't people with that experience or that skill set. So if I start when that skill set has been made available, then I am the AI code. If that makes sense, there won't be anybody else, because I mean, so that's actually why. Um, Interesting enough, though, when I talk about necessity, so for those who don't know, I'm a developer. So I was at a crossroads. So I studied computer science. So when you study computer science, everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna be a dev," and I'm like, "You know what it is to code and develop." I'm sure you know how difficult it is, because I know you've been diving into that world. So I was at a crossroads, and if it wasn't for AI, I would have become an analyst. So I was literally like, I was like, I was literally like, am I going to become an analyst? Am I going to be a developer? And then at the back of my head, I was like, oh, there's AI. So let me give this developing thing one more shot. And then, yeah, basically now I'm the AI goat. Exactly. That's how.
So I'm curious about that because there seems to be fear around not only coding, but I think technology in general. And of course, you've got a background in computer science. What informed you wanting to take that route to begin with as a starting point? And then I want to unpack the coming in of AI, but I'm curious, what gravitated you towards that field?
Good question. So I was young, school came easy. So I was still on that mindset of I can be whatever I want to be, basically. And then, so I was like thinking in my head, what do I want to do one day? If I could honestly be anything, what would it be? And then I'm like, okay, I can't choose. Okay, let me Google what pays the most. What do I need to study to get paid the most? And then, surely enough, I don't know. It was it was a messed up search. I disagree with it completely now, but it was a messed up search because for some weird reason, computer science pops up first. On that moment, funny enough, I did the same search like a week later, and computer science was like fifth. So I don't know if it was like some sort of miracle that it was like first. Then my mind was made up. Can you believe it? Like that was
I
the deciding.
see.
I was literally just one afternoon googling, and then computer science pops up, and then I'm like, okay, sure, I'll do that. And that was grade nine though. That was
Ah,
like that was grade nine or standard seven for the older individuals. So that was before matric or varsity. I already made up my mind because I was still in that mindset of I can be whatever I want to be, even though that's good and bad. Later, I realized that Warren Buffett says is often he says business people they hire talent, they hire people that are experienced in something in one particular skill, and money tends to move to those that have honed or are experienced in a particular skill. So notice how that is counterintuitive. How I was like I can be whatever I want to be when I should have just focused on one thing,
yeah.
because business people or people with money pay individuals with that one expertise or one particular skill set, and money tends to follow those individuals with that one particular skill set. So it's a weird mindset shift. So especially with this AI thing, where this mindset is stimulated even more, initiated
Mhm.
more, that I can become whatever I want to become. It's just at my fingertips. But that's the wrong way to go, But I need to hone in on that particular skill set. But it has to be appropriate. It has to make sense. I hope, yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that's very interesting. Yeah.
So it seems like there's a combination of, I would say, guidance, which is otherworldly. Because if you say you searched the first time and computer science was on top, when you searched the second time, it was fifth, and you made your decision on that first time around, which means it then guided you through. Then I'm curious, you get into the program, of course. Is it what you expected it to be? And how was that journey going through the program? And before this, I can imagine AI wasn't in the conversation as of yet, or at least not as prominent yet as it was today. So, how was it going through the program? Was it what you expected? And how did you navigate that?
Interesting. Um, to be honest, this is where AI actually helped me get into the program. For those who don't know, it was a
Hmm.
Salesforce program, and I literally a week or 2 weeks before it, like I said, that was one of the crossroads I was having where. Am I still gonna give this development thing a chance? Because I've been a developer before that, but it was like for my community. It's not any big banks or big names, and
Hmm.
then or the company comes into the picture, and then I was like, okay, this is interesting. Because there's another story, because I was in the hotel industry also and all of that. So I basically took a gap year, or like a risk, initially to actually give this development thing a chance. Um, and before that, I was actually using AI to actually prep for that interview, and I knew nothing about Salesforce, to be honest. I've heard whispers about it a year ago, but I used AI to actually tool me with what is Salesforce, what do I need to actually know, and it was actually able to give me a guide on what's the skills that I need to actually learn, video links on what I actually need to go and study, questions and answers that I might be actually asked. And funny enough, it's weird, but as soon as I went into the building, um, the first question I was asked, "What is Salesforce?" Explain Salesforce to me, and I could give like a sales pitch answer, and to such an extent that they actually questioned whether I was there for development, because it seemed as if though I was a salesperson, which is kind of weird,
Hmm.
because developers are known for not being able to talk. So it was kind of interesting how um, AI was actually able to create a script for me or facilitate that ability to sell a product or sell my business. So that is sort of where AI came to the picture to actually help me with entering, I guess, the Salesforce ecosystem. Because traditionally, I would not have made any sense. Someone who knows nothing about Salesforce a week ago would now be able to actually understand the platform, or make it seem as if he understands the platform. I hope that that actually answers the question.
It does. And I see Sis B and also Tabi Singh have just joined us. Thank you too for joining us. So I'm in conversation with Richard here, just unpacking his journey from school through studying and then getting to a point where he's now an AI specialist in one of the larger companies in the South African ecosystem. And what he's just shared now was around how he used AI to be good at AI and he used AI to be better at AI. And I think then, Richard, it begs the question. We all know about AI. We all
Mm.
know that it's at our fingertips and we all know that it makes life easier. We all know there's these productivity hacks. I'm curious around, there's obviously the hesitation around, there are a lot of tools and there's Claude and there's Gemini and there's ChatGPT and there's this and there's that. How then would you advise someone who says, look, I want to use this thing. I want to get better at this thing. I want to have this thing be something that helps me in my everyday life. In your experience, where would you say they should start? And even what should they consider from a mindset perspective that's going to help them move forward?
Okay. Good question. It's almost like asking someone, okay, this person has this issue. They want to be able to run further and further. They want to do a marathon. And the answer to that question is how that. So the person is like, how do I get to a point where I can actually run a marathon? The
Yeah.
answer is simple. You have to start running. There's no two ways about it. You have to start running. And with AI or the tooling, the same thing applies. Just pick any tool, any well-known tool at least, and then just start using it. And what helps though is understanding what it actually is. AI, artificial intelligence. So intelligence artificially. So it's the attempt to replicate human intelligence or human thinking. So meaning that you need to approach it as if you are talking to a human. So that's sort of once you sort of start unpacking, understanding what it truly is, then only you will start feeling more comfortable on how to use it. Because if you come from a point of view that, okay, in order for this to make, in order for me to actually make this work, I need to actually talk to it as if it was not a person, but an artificial human or artificial person. And if you come from it from that perspective, things actually start making sense. And when you're communicating or asking for results or things to be created, um, then it will actually start giving positive answers. And keep in mind, it's not a and it's not a situation of where you ask a question and it gives you the answer that you desire. Remember, as if you are talking to someone else and you expect them to fully understand what you explain to them. It takes a couple of back and forth. It takes a couple of it's a communication is not like communication isn't a situation of where I just lay a lot of information on the person. It is a back and forth.
Yeah.
It is a not a union, but some sort of
Two-way street.
yep, 100%. So that is sort of what AI is. You give it some information, it gives you information, and you give information back or a reply back or a response back. And if you come from that mindset that you are guiding the AI. The AI isn't here to be you. You are sort of co-working with the AI. If you come from that mindset, you will actually thrive in this sort of environment instead of being like the AI is going to do everything for me. No, it's actually a partnership. It's
Yeah.
actually a
A
co-pilot
collaboration.
essentially. Yep, 100%. That's what I was looking for. Yep.
Got you. And so I think, and I want to quickly welcome Mrs. Talita, who's just entered the room now. So Talita, we're quickly talking about how one can use AI to serve them and to work for them. And Richard has given us a beautiful landscape with regards to AI is a two-way street. Think of it as a partner, a collaborator, and don't think of it as just something you give instructions for it to be you. Now, I think most people today have gotten access to ChatGPT in some or other manner, and they use ChatGPT to generate all sorts of things. And from my understanding, Richard, and of course you're the expert in this, so you'll of course correct why I'm missing this. There's using the tool as a search engine. I'm trying to find information from it. Hey, I'm trying to write this email. Please make this email sound professional for me. Hey, I'm trying to write this very difficult message. Please make this difficult message sound professional for me. Hey, I'm trying to send a follow-up email. Hey, I'm trying to create a report, and I'm trying to post things. So I'm popping information into it, and it's spitting something that's a little bit more pleasant for me. But I've increasingly, even on my timeline, Richard, have received videos that say, stop using AI like a search engine. There are so many other uses for AI. So talk to me to someone who's using AI just as a search engine today. And what's the next step for that person? How can they better use AI? Because I'm of the belief that using it as a search engine is not the best way to use it. It is a way to use it, but help me move to the next step. What would the next step be?
The next step is not searching. If you are searching every day, it means that is a robotic process, meaning that can be automated. So that is the next step. I'll speak about Claude, but there are other tools as well. But AI has improved to such an extent where if you are now doing the same thing over and over, prompting the same thing, asking the same question, you can actually schedule that interaction. So that is the next level where you mentioned that this email keeps on coming to you. So what if when the email comes, automatically you get notified and there is a response, or every single day you get a backlog of massive emails. However, you have this AI tool that is connected to that tool, like Gmail, for example, and is giving you a summary automatically, as well as responses to that. So that's the next step, where it is automated, where you are no longer having to initiate this communication where it has been scheduled. That is the next step. The other level also to it is not using the same tool for everything. There are tools out there where they one task focused. So if you take some time to actually do some research, or speak to someone like me, we can guide you on what are the other alternatives or the specialized tools that where these models have been trained to actually achieve a certain result. Because at the end of the day, there does come a cost. So you need to make sure that you use you need to work around the cost efficiently instead of just using the same tool that's a general agent. When there are tools out there that where there are massive dev teams, machine learning teams, engineers behind it, focus on providing a particular service that you use day to day. So that is the next step.